So here's the finished crankcase. And you're going to have to take a moment to really look through some of these images here. Obviously, this is finished. Detail of the threads here. Here's a detail showing where the dipstick goes in. And then here's kind of like the main views. So before you do anything, I would recommend that you figure out where you're at. So you can see details are called out here. You got for example, a detail D. So that would be on the next page, right? Detail D is right here. It's shown here, right? Detail E is this right here. And then you've got section view as well. Section C looking in this direction, which is right here. And then you have some other detail views here too. So this is detail B location shown right here. And A is right here. So you're going to be jumping all over the place on these. And if you have a printout of these, the trick that I use is going through, and when you're done with using a certain dimension, put a check mark next to it or a line through it or something, because that way you can avoid the mess of all the different things going on in here, and it doesn't look quite so intimidating. Okay, so new part. We're going to do on the front plane. Center line, going to do a midpoint out to an arbitrary distance, like that. And we have 6.5 here. We have an overall height of 2.5, so I'm just going to dimension the center line. And I'm going to do, let's see, I'm just going to do an arbitrary like this. We know it comes down here, and we don't know how long that is. I'm going to just mirror these. And once again, you can do this in many different ways. We know that this is 5.5. And then we know that this is 15 degrees here. Oop, there we go, 15 degrees. Okay, and that gives us this length here. So we don't have the dimension for that, and we don't need it, because we know where this point is, and we know that it's 2.5 up and then half of 5.5 over, and this is 15 degrees. So it's going to hit where it hits. Okay, I'm going to do a mid-plane extrusion, and this is 4 inches, like so. Now I have some fillets. This is 1/2-inch fillets. You can do in there. Let's see. No. There. Oh, let's see. We want that whole edge, and we want this little guy also. So make sure you have all those in there. Okay, now we're going to do a flange. I'm going to flip this thing upside down and a sketch here. And we know that the flange is Where's that detail? Let's see. .75. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, oh, wait a minute. Let's just do it this way. There we go. 0.75. There you go. And extruding that up, not to midplane. This is blind, going this direction. And it has a thickness of 0.125. Merge result, yes. Okay, now we have our flange. Okay, now we have our bearing mount. It's that kind of little half, kind of that arch that comes up here, and there's one on this side and one on this side. There's a bunch of different ways we can do it. We could do mid-plane, but then we would need to calculate this entire thickness, or we could do direction 1, direction 2, or we could do it on this face and then just extrude all the way over to this face. There's no real right or wrong way to do it. You could also mirror it across. Might be good practice to just mirror it across. So I'm just going to do on this face, I'm going to do a center point arc, which is here. You may have something else, like a tangent arc or something else in there. If I do a center point arc, you can see that you would do the center and then the left going over to the right. It gives you a little preview. So we're going to go here, something like that, and that. And then I'm going to do a line over like so. The dimensions show this as a 2-inch radius, a 2-inch diameter, but it's going to dimension that as a radius because it's not a full circle. But what I can do is I'm just going to put that in there, just an arbitrary amount, and then I'm going to go back and right-click and go to display as diameter. Now I can just go and type that in as 2. Okay, I have my closed shape, and I'm going to extrude it up to this surface, and I'm not going to merge the results, and I'm going to mirror that. Bodies to mirror here. And those are going all the way across. And now I want to merge those. So I'm going to expand my solid bodies here. Select all those, right click, combine. Okay, make sure you're saving this. This is Crankcase top if you're not doing it already. Next, we're going to shell this. And the thickness is 0.25. And we're going to turn on the show preview. So we need to eliminate some of these faces. We know we want to open up this face. You can kind of see what that preview is going to look like. We want one side, the back side, to be closed off like this. And then we want one face to be open. So it's going to look like that. It's going to cut all the way through here. And this one is actually going to have a wall thickness. I'm going to double check to make sure I put that on the right. Okay, good. You want this to be toward the front and this to be in the back. Next, we're going to cut this hole. There's a hole here and then a slot. And I'm going to do this in 2 features, 2 cuts. I could do it in 1, but then I'm going to have to do some trimming and mirroring and all of that. And I'm just going to, I know that I've got a circle and a slot. This is 2.75. I'm going to up to next. Could go through all, but probably good practice to just go up to next, just in case there was something else below it. Okay, we got that. Let's do another sketch here. Going to do our center point straight slot. So we're going to do center over in this direction and up. And you should have this clicked to add dimensions. If not, you can manually add them. This is 0.5, and this is 3.9. Now another cut up to next. Okay. Now we need to add a plane to add some bosses to the inside of this. So we're going to flip the part over. I'm going to do a reference plane, and I'm going to do an offset from here, and the offset is 0.375 up, and then a sketch on that plane. I'm going to do it down in this area just because that's what the drawing is showing. So I'm going to put in some mirror lines because I don't want to draw this 4 times. I only want to draw this once. Okay. Now what we want to do is we've used our convert entities, and we've also used our intersection curve, which is what we're going to use to find where this plane hits these walls. So intersection curve, I'm just going to select these faces here, and it's going to create those lines going over like that. Okay. Now I'm just going to do a normal 2 here, and I'm going to arbitrarily put, that's way too high, but that'll work when I put dimensions in. Now when I trim away, I'm gonna purposefully keep these, but I'm gonna trim away these right here. Because if I trim these away, I'm gonna have to make it coincident again and all that. And so what I'm gonna do is, now that I've trimmed that distance out and that little area out, I can just take these and convert them to construction lines. So those can just stay there. Okay, we've got a distance here. Here is 0.685. And our height here is 0.575. And then we have a fillet of 0.25 here and there. Okay. Now we've got one on each corner here. You can decide how you want to do it. You can do it in the sketch. You could just kind of mirror and mirror twice, or you could extrude this down and not merge and then mirror across. Okay, so I am going to just extrude that down, and I'm going to go up to surface here. And you can see it's not going to do anything weird on us. It's just going to go right into the walls there. We're not going to merge the result. And what we will do is mirror, mirror. So we've got that one. Secondary mirror is this one. Bodies to mirror here. There's our 4. We're going to go back and combine these. Okay, I'm going to spin this back around. I'm going to go and hide this plane because we're done with it. Making sure we save. Now we're going to add kind of a little reinforcement here. So let's do a sketch here. And let's see, how am I going to do this? I don't want to put one big piece and then trim stuff away. So I think what I might do is just do something like that. And then I'm going to dimension, this is 0.375. And this distance all the way across, we're going to have to add a center line. So add that here. And dimension here is 3. Now I'm just going to mirror here. And I'm going to go up to surface here, not merge. It looks funny right now, but it's going to work once we merge those. Let's go ahead and mirror those first. There's a bunch of different ways you can do this. Once again, there's no right way or wrong way most of the time. Okay, so we've got those in place. Let's go back to our solid bodies, combine those now. There we go. All those little weird lines went away. Looks good. Okay. Next, we're going to add a bearing mount. I'm going to bring our drawing over here so I can show you what we're doing. Okay, so we've got a bunch of stuff going on here, right? We're using our detail A. This little guy right here, this little shelf, that is the bearing mount. So we know that is 1.25 diameter here, and then we're going to convert entities of that existing edge. And then if you look here, down at this view, we've got an offset from the outside, 0.25, to the front of that ring, that half ring, and then a thickness of 0.125. So we have to create a plane first to do this sketch and then extrude it that direction. So I'm just going to move this back over so I can look at it. Okay, so I'm going to create a plane. I'm going to select this face, reference plane. I'm going to go the other direction, and that is 0.25. Then I'm going to do a sketch on that plane, convert entities here, and then I'm going to I'm not going to offset entities. I am going to do another center point arc like this, and then do lines here. And this is I want to change this to be diameter. This is 1.25. Okay, I'm going to turn this a little bit. We want this to be extruded toward the center of the part, and it has a thickness of 0.125 is correct, and merge result. Okay, got that in there. Let's hide this plane. Make sure you're saving. Now we need to create the little tube for the dipstick that's located right over in this area right here. So I'm going to drag the drawing back over here to show you what we're doing. This is the dipstick right here. So what we're going to do first is it's giving us a dimension of 1 inch off this inside surface to that plane that we need to create right here. And then you can see too in detail D, which is the next page, we've got this. So first things first, we're going to get our plane in, and then we are going to get our line drawn in here, and then we're going to get a profile to extrude down. Okay, so make sure you're on the right side. This is our front, and I'm just going to spin it this way, select this face, and I'm going to add a plane. It is 1 inch off of that surface. And I'm going to just kind of do this here, just so I can see what I'm doing. Sketch on that plane. It spun it around to the other side. If you hold Shift and your left and right arrows, you can, I just did it twice, so I put it kind of in the right orientation. Okay, I'm going to do like an arbitrary line like this down to here somewhere, something like that. Make sure you don't add a weird coincident like hitting, a point or something over here or over in here. Okay, so we know that this and this right here is 10 degrees. And we've got a coincident here. So it's coincident on that line. And now we need to add a point and just put it somewhere on the line. Don't hit the midpoint. Just going to put it right below right there. And then I'm going to take that point, hold Control, hit that edge right there, and create a coincident there. So that'll allow us to put dimensions up from that point. So from the bottom to that, vertical is 1.5. And then from that point to the top is 1.25. So that's the top of the hole for the dipstick. Okay, we can hide this plane now. Now we're going to create the profile to extrude down. So I'm going to bring the drawing back over here. So we're going to create our profile on a plane that we create that's here, and then go down to the surface here. So what we're going to do is we can see the detail, detail E here, showing the thread, the profile, all of that. And we know we've got a outside diameter of 0.395, and then we've got an inside diameter of 0.275. So we're going to do the solid first, and then we're going to cut the inside of the tube, then deal with our threads. So first thing we got to do is we need to create a plane that is perpendicular to this line at this point. So you can either select the point first or the line first, but your two references are line and point. Then you will do a sketch. We will do our diameter of 0.275. And then we will extrude that down to this face here. And we're going to merge the result. And we can hide this guy now. We're done with that. And we're actually done with that too. We're going to cut our hole. So center of this, and the diameter is 0.275. Oh, excuse me, I did it the wrong way. I'm going to leave that as 0.275 because I accidentally did the wrong one for that. So I'm just going to leave that, and then I'm going to go back to edit our extrusion. Excuse me. And if I go to edit the sketch, let's change this to what it should be, which is 0.395. Okay. Now, there we go. So if you guys got that right before me, congratulations. But the nice thing about SolidWorks, once again, is you can go back and edit these things. Going to cut that hole, and I want to go all the way up to this surface here. I don't want to go to this one. I want it to go all the way through. So I just want to make sure I'm going to do up to surface, and I'm going to click right there, and you can see the preview of where it's going to go. You want that to go through all the way through to there. Now we're going to do our threads, our helix. So I'm going to do a new sketch on that plane, or on that surface, excuse me, and I'm just going to convert entities on that edge right there. And then I'm going to go to our helix spiral and get these out of the way. You can see it's going in the wrong direction. This is pitch and revolution, constant pitch, reverse direction, we're going this way, and we want this to be 0.075, and it has revolutions of 3. Now, before we want to make sure it's clockwise, but before we figure out what the start angle is going to be, we have to think about where we're going to put our profile. So you can see right now that would start right here, but we don't have a plane. We would have to create a plane by selecting the spiral and then that line in order to create a plane here in order to put the profile in. We want the profile to start right here. So I believe 360 degrees puts it here. And that's exactly where we want it, because that is intersecting our plane, which is right here. So there we go. So let's go back and find our plane. Mine is plane 3. It's probably the same for you guys. Sketch on that plane. I'm going to turn this around, shift, left arrow, and I'm going to draw this off to the side. I'm going to do a center line, just something like that. And I'm going to draw this little arrow looking thing. And I'm just going to do that right there. I want to make sure that this is perpendicular to this line. And I'm going to mirror across here so I have symmetry. Oops. Well, it doesn't matter. I could just... Okay. So I am going to put in our dimensions first. This is 0.4. Holy moly, 0.04. That is very wrong. 0.04. 0.04. There we go. And this is 0.03. Okay. Now we have a fillet, which is 0.01 right there. All right. Now we want to create a pierce point. We want this point to pierce right here. You want to have this relatively close because there's 2 points that it could pierce. If you're selecting it, it could pierce down here or up here since they both touch right there. We want to select this point and our helix, pierce that in location. You can see I'm still missing a dimension. And I think, so I want this line. I'm going to have to spin the view. I want to go normal to this view. I want to make this line and this edge to be, I don't know if they're going to be, I'm just going to put parallel. Okay. Swept cut. There's our profile. Here's our path. I'm going to hide our helix spiral. Now we have some fillets to add. The base right here, this has a fillet, and it is 0.05. Just this ring right here. Looks like that. Then we've got some fillets here, 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 and then all the way around that are different than the fillet that goes right through here. And it's not listed in the drawing, at least that I can find. And so I've created an arbitrary fillet size for that. So I'm going to do fillet, and I'm going to do 0.05. And I'm just going to go like this. That one, that one, that one, that one. And same thing on the other side. Remember, you can mirror features as well. You could just do one side and mirror the feature across if you want to. There aren't too many, so I'm just going to do them individually. Okay, got those. Now we've got another fillet that is this whole ring right here. And that is 0.125. Looks like that. Okay, then we're going to add a little fillet on the threads here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to our tree here, and I'm going to go to our cut sweep just to select that. And then I'm going to go to fillet. And it's probably going to fail first because it can't put a fillet that big. Let's see if it'll even let me do this way. I hope it doesn't crash. Okay, so we want to do a very small fillet, 0.01. There we go. Okay, now I believe we just have one left. What we're going to do for this is we want these edges to be round. So we're going to do another fillet. These are going to be 0.05. And it's going to be that edge, this edge, and this edge. And it's going to be the same thing on all of these. And once again, you can mirror that however you want. Okay, got all four of those. I think I did. Looks good. Okay. Now we need to add the holes on this flange. So sketch on here. Center line, we're going to be doing a bunch of mirroring. And we want an offset for our center line. That is 0.325. Make sure that that is for construction only. Now we've got, let's see, got one about here. We've got another one about here. We've got one right in the center there. And then we've got another one over in here. Okay, I'm going to make sure that all of these are equal. And let's just select this one as the main one because that's not moving anywhere. It says 16 times diameter 0.266 through all. 266. Now let's figure out location. Okay, so from here to here, let's try that again. Here to there is 1.2. Distance from here to there is 2.15. And then we've got from here to here, which is 0.75. Now, hopefully my mirror works for this because it didn't work before. We're going to try. Okay, it did work. Yay. Okay, these are going to go up, and we want to go up to surface, but we don't want to select this surface because we want these to go all the way up to this little step. So I'm just going to click on that step because I want these to go up to here. You could also do through all and they would just go through the whole part, but it's just kind of a good idea just in case you have an overhang, you don't want to slice into something you don't mean to. Okay. Okay, we're going to add the holes that are in these little guys, these little bosses right here. And we want to do the sketch on this surface because we want to thread them in. I believe you want to go from here and down. So we're going to do a sketch from here, but I'm going to turn on our hidden lines visible. So I just want to make sure that we're putting it right in the right spot. Okay, so I'm going to do a point because I'm going to use Hole Wizard, but I want to know that I'm in the right spot. So I'm going to add a point here. And from here to this edge, this is 1.25. And from here to this edge is 1.75. That's going to be where our hole is. I'm going to turn that a bit. And I'm going to go to Hole Wizard. And I'm going to get our parameters in here. This is a 3/8 16ths. 3/8 16, sorry. And this is, we can do a up to surface, which is going to be here. And our location is there. Come on. Escape. Get rid of that. Oh, come on. Let's try this again. I don't even know what the deal is with that. It just really frustrates me. I'm going to make sure that this is okay. I'm going to turn my shaded view back on. That looks good. I'm going to hide this little guy, and then I will mirror across the two planes here. We're almost done. We've got a couple holes to add here in a sketch. Let's see. I'm going to go here, something like that, and over. This is just going to be a construction. And radius of 0.875. Okay, I'm going to add points, and then I'm going to use Hole Wizard again. So I've got that one, I know where it is. I'm going to put a center line in. I'm going to do, I'm just going to do one like this, and I'm going to do one like this. And I'm going to do one in the middle. Could do a mirror here. Just once again, can do what you want to do. So this is 60 degrees, and same thing here, 60 degrees. Okay, we know where our points are. This is a hole, this is a hole, and this is a hole. $632. Let's see. Wait, what do we do? Up to surface? No, we've got a depth of 0.276. And our positions are there, there, and there. Okay, gonna hide this. Okay, so we've got those holes. Now go around, check, look at the drawing. You want to double check to make sure you got everything in here. The one thing that's left to do is to add the material. Cast alloy steel. And there you go. Your part is finished. To learn more about our program, check us out at fvcc.edu, and for more tips and tricks, subscribe to this channel.